Hey everybody, this is the Esoteric Cross. My name is Will and I make videos about how to gain your personal power while learning ancient secrets. And if that sounds like something that you're into, please hit the like button and subscribe and gain insight from this perspective in the cosmos. Let's explore this rich history and captivating origins of astrology. From ancient civilizations to modern times, trace the evolution of this mystical science as we uncover its deep roots and fascinating impact on human culture. Join in on this journey through time and understand how astrology has intertwined with humanity's search for understanding and self-discovery. The origins of astrology can be traced back to the earliest civilizations when humans began to observe the movement of celestial bodies and regular patterns that they form. From ancient Mesopotamia to Greece, astrology has been an important tool for understanding the world and guiding human behavior. We're going to explore astrology especially in the context of the occult and working with it within ceremonial magic. Now there is some debate on when we see the first evidence of astrology, and we can see the calendar system go back pretty far, and one thing that we do know is that the observation of stars and time are linked together very deeply. For the sake of being in alignment with others, let's just say that astrology gets its roots within Mesopotamia. The origins of astrology date back to ancient civilizations when humans first observed the regular movement of the sun, moon, and the planets across the sky. Within ancient Mesopotamia, astrology was a form of divination used to understand the future of nations and the kings. It was used for many practical purposes like knowing when to plant or harvest crops. The wheel of the Zodiac is representing the wheel of the year. These 12 signs are deeply symbolic of the cycle of change as it pertains to the relationship between the earth and the sun. Their gods that they worshipped were strongly associated with the planets and the stars. One of the most interesting things is that they would even perform magic to enhance the good influences and also perform magic to keep certain influences at bay. Astrotheology is a way of understanding the self, the psyche, as it relates to astrological phenomena. They believed that we mirror the cosmos as we are the microcosm and the celestial heavens were the macrocosm. The events that occurred in the stars reflected the events happening here, and this could be used to predict the future. It could also be used to harness the powers of the cosmos and get deeper understandings of the self and society. Eventually, the civilization fell to Persia, and the teachings of astrology was adopted there. Persian astrology analyzed the movements of the planets, the zodiac signs, and they used astrology to predict the future. Here we can see the ideas of birth charts, horoscopes, and the royal stars of Persia. These ideas spread to Greece and Egypt. At this point, astrology could be examined a bit more philosophically. Up until the 1st century in the Common Era, astrology and ritual magic were very closely linked together. Here at this point, we can see that astrology becomes a bit more of a rational science and philosophy. This is where we begin to see a split between ritual magic and astrology. In this way, astrology was used to help understand the idea of the soul, the psyche, and was still used to predict events, but unfortunately, using astrology only in this way took a lot of the practicality out of it. What use can we get out of astrology if we can't work with these energies to enhance or avoid certain aspects? Over the next couple thousand years, we can see that for the large part, for the public, astrology remained to be an interesting divination and philosophical system. But there were people that still understood its relationship to ritual magic, and there were books that were published on this relationship throughout these years. Toward the end of the 1800s, though, we can see new life being breathed into astrological magic with societies like the Hermetic Order of the Golden Dawn. Here we have a detailed system of ritual magic that incorporates alchemy, Qabalah, religious symbolism, and astrotheology all into one path. So let's get into this point of view for a second. Within this geocentric model, we see Earth at the center with the 7 classical planets and in the realm of the Zodiac. Earth is to represent the physical body, the microcosm, and the result. It's the world that we live in. Outside of that, we see these planetary layers as layers of the soul or consciousness. Then we have the sphere of the zodiac representing a cycle, time, and a realm of archetypal energies. I've also talked a bit on this channel before about how these 12 signs of the zodiac can be broken down even further. I'd also like to address the topic of the 13th zodiac sign, because I see that comment come up a whole lot on my channel. We will be addressing that in further detail in a future video, but the idea of 12 is very important, and it has to do with mathematics and how something can be broken down. 12 is necessary as 12 can be divided into 4 equal parts. It's symmetrical. It's divided into the 4 seasons, the 4 elements, and the 4 directions. Each season has 3 signs. 12 can be divided into 2 parts of 6, dividing the year into its brighter half and its darker half. 12 can also be broken down into the 36 deacons and the 72 angels. If we view this wheel of the zodiac as aspects of consciousness, then each zodiac sign represents a very specific part of us within a cycle. In the system of magic, we break consciousness down into these parts, purify them, and strengthen them. The idea is to master these parts of the self. The 12 is broken down even further into the 36, but to understand the 36 deacons, we need to take this back to its root, which is within Egypt. When the ancient Egyptians were practicing astronomy, they divided this 360-degree ecliptic into 36 parts, and each part equaled 10 degrees. These parts were considered to be living and represented cycles, and they were related to continuity, order, and time. And these were really important ideas to the ancient Egyptians. Deacons were incorporated into the zodiac during the Ptolemaic dynasty, and they eventually were described as divisions of the 12 signs of the zodiac into 10-degree parts. Each sign will have 3 deacons. They are further defined in specific segments of divine consciousness. Of course, they are divided even further into the 72 angels of the Shem. It's fascinating the way that we can work with astrological phenomena within the realm of ceremonial magic. This is something that definitely takes a while to grasp, and working with astrology and magic is usually something that happens much later on within the initiate's path. Generally, within the system, an initiate is told to work on the 4 elements which represent Earth in this geocentric model. With the way that we view it, it's not that Earth is the center of the solar system. This is allegorical for the fact that you, your body, and results are at the center of your soul or psyche. This is where the focal point of consciousness is. We use this model to explain the path within magic. An initiate's job is to work on the internal parts of the self first. Separate, purify, and strengthen. Then we start to move on to more astrological work, but in the form of planetary magic. The planetary parts mirror the layers of the aura. Finally, moving on to the sphere of the zodiac, then the fixed stars. If we can see deeper into the zodiac, peel back the layers and examine the esoteric underpinnings, we can get closer to the truth of our own consciousness and ways to transform it. This is even further leveled up when we're able to examine things like pieces of our birth chart and astrological events that are happening and how we can harness the power of them to our benefit. Astrology has come so far, and we can see the direct relationship to ceremonial magic. The origins of the system came from these ancient societies to make sense of the natural world. It has played a vital role in shaping human culture and influencing everything from politics to personal decisions. Of course, much of modern science, at least publicly, has largely moved away from astrology as a literal explanation for the world, but the tradition and practice of astrology continues to this day, even still being used by people in high positions of power in secret societies, proving that this ancient practice of understanding the stars has stood the test of time. Now, I have my courses listed in the description below, like this course on Qabalah and also studying the Kabbalistic Tree of Life with Tarot, which is something that most courses on tarot don't offer. There's also a link to where you can book a tarot reading with me, and I'll also have the link to my Patreon if you're interested in some live streams. And hope that there was something new that you were able to take away from this video. If so, please hit the like button, leave a comment, and subscribe for more content. Thank you so much for watching. Until next time.